that crazy how we never would think about it
No,
or talk about it as kids?
at all.
Never would it even come up if someone's like kind of struggling, or if you were struggling, you didn't. Well, maybe if you didn't know what to do, or like.
Curiosity has always driven me to explore the world in new and creative ways. Hey, I'm Jordy, the CEO and co-founder of Mode Healthcare, and alongside my Texan mate, Dr. Matty Moore.
Hey guys, Dr. Matty Moore here.
We're on a mission to uncover new ways for people to live, work, and play. From bustling cities to remote corners of the world, we're on a mission to uncover the secrets of holistic well-being. We'll talk to experts, dive into new wellness trends, and explore the age-old practices that still hold value today. So join us on this journey. Each episode will bring you stories and insights that will inspire you to live a healthier, more balanced life. This is The Modern Way.
So that I can line these.
Yeah,
clips
I know
up.
the drill.
You know the drill.
All right.
Mate, thanks so much for cruising in today.
Pleasure.
It's been
We're rolling, are we?
we are rolling, we're straight into it.
Let's go.
This is a bit haphazard. We're in our Dunsborough clinic today. For anyone watching, anyone listening, we're sitting on the couch. You've got a busted wing.
Got a busted wing.
Fiji, you told me.
I did, yeah. I went to Fiji. I chased a swell. It was actually not that long ago, fresh out of surgery. I went to Fiji. It was about when the Margaret River contest was on.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of lining up to catch up with a few friends during that event and do a bit of commentating too.
Yeah.
So that was all kind of lining up. And then I had another friend hit me up that Fiji was looking amazing. Do you want to go? And it's one of my favourite places on earth. So I chose the Fiji option, and it was just a 5-day strike, and I had the best 3 days of my life. Just got such good waves with friends, just absolutely scored, like really good big waves. And then I think it was the 3rd day or the 4th day, I just paddled into a big one, and I was like a bit late and a bit deep, and I just jumped off kind of like I normally do. And my shoulder just hit the water and just went bang, bang, like out and in really quick, like a quick dislocation. And it hurt so much. It was like a lightning bolt hit me and the shoulder kind of froze. And I came up, and luckily my mate was on a jet ski pretty close, and I was like, come get me. And he whipped in and got me out of there, thankfully, because I couldn't really swim that well. So I wouldn't have been very good if a few more waves had got me on the head. So I got out of there, and it was quite sore. And then, just went through the motions, came home, got an MRI, and they're like, you've ripped your subscapularis, it's called, tendon off the bone. And it was 3 centimeters retracted. So, pretty good job of it.
Serious
and
injury.
the only option was basically surgery. Yeah, it wasn't going to reattach itself.
No.
So I did that, and it's been 2 weeks exactly. So just early days, but
So
it's all good. I'm on the journey to recovery. It's just a bit of a long one.
Well, I said before we started, I was saying that I listened to Ockcast like ages ago, and I think in that episode you were recovering from an ACL.
Oh, is that when that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah. No, that was funny, that one. I did that on the day of my 40th birthday. I had to laugh at that. Welcome to 40.
Yeah,
Bang.
welcome, mate.
Snap your ACL. I did that on like a 3-foot wave up north, up at the bluff. So that was a bit of a shock. I've been really good with injuries like through my whole career until that point. And then what have I done? I've had 2 shoulder surgeries now and ACL on my knee, but all quite late in my career.
Mate, as a career, we were talking just before, 20 years professional surfing, and I think Ronnie Blakey in your retirement interview quoted that you missed one event.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think it's one event, in 20 years.
And 3 injuries, and one's not counted because it's outside.
Yeah. So. Luckily, none of the major injuries were like while I was on tour, I don't think. So, missed one event. I know. I can't believe that actually happened. One event in 20 years. That's
insane.
Crazy.
Man. Well, dude, that's pretty kind of fitting, though. You're like, strike mission to Fiji instead of commentating at Margs.
I ended up wedging them both in. I got home in time for the finals day, and I went down and did some commentary with Ronnie.
Sick.
And Richie and a few of the others, Flick and Joey. I got it done.
Double.
But quick.
Because I was looking, and as like a surfer, as a fan, I think and I said before we started, I don't want to like reminisce on like the old days and that sort of stuff, but recently at that event, Callie announced his retirement in a pretty low-key way.
Yeah.
And then for you, it was at Margie's too, but it was very, and this is an outsider, please correct me if I'm wrong or I've interpreted it the wrong way, but it was very calculated. It was, I've thought about this, I've made a decision.
Me or him?
You.
Yeah,
you,
yep.
Fiji's my last event.
Yeah.
Where this injury has happened as well.
Yeah.
And you've gone, cool, at Margie's, at home, I'm going to do this. And it was like a celebration of Taj leading up until that event, which was so sick because recently, like, so Callie's announced his retirement, but now he's surfing at Chopes now, which is sick. Like everybody wants to see him surf. Everyone wants to see you surf and everyone surf. But I feel like these days, the career of a professional surfer or any athlete is so hyped in kind of social media and I don't want to say like flash in the pan, but you definitely see surfers go, holy shit, how fucking amazing are they?
Yeah.
Which they are.
Yeah.
For a few events and then they're on tour, off tour. And because the whole kind of model's changed as well.
Yes.
How, I think as a spectator and a fan and being like a Southwest-ite or whatever we call ourselves, like someone growing up surfing around here, it's pretty rad to be able to watch you throughout your career and then go, I'm doing this for me because of these reasons.
Yeah.
See you in fucking Fiji, guys.
Yeah.
And it was...
no, that's cool. I think that it's probably different with Kelly because he's always such a mystery and he always leaves people, keeps them guessing, like what's Kelly actually doing? And it's been like that forever. He'll threaten to do something and then do something else. And he does a lot of things opposite to what you'd imagine. He's quite unique in that way. So when he obviously kind of semi-announced retirement, everyone knew that he's not completely retiring. He pretty much, I think almost directly after that, started announcing a few of the events that he was going to be in. Oh, well, I am going to do Tahiti and Fiji.
So, which everyone's stoked for.
Yeah,
as well.
100%.
Like,
and that's like two of the events that he would be the strongest at. So I anticipate him, maybe retiring after he has a really good run in an event, which everyone thought would have been the Pipe Masters, that win that he had. Yeah. But he decided to carry on, and I think he's probably chasing a moment similar to that. And I think he's got his best chance at those two waves. He's incredible out there. So, and the difference with me was I was just definitely done. I've had enough. I was like 20 years on tour and birth of my first child. That was 2015. And, I was like, I can't travel with a kid. I can barely look after myself on a plane, let alone a kid as well. So I'm like, a lot of guys have done it on tour. Yeah. And hats off to them because that is challenging. Like traveling with kids is really hard, especially if you have to focus on an event. It's like the most selfish sport in the world. So it's pretty tough to do it with a family. And
the pressure, man, like I can imagine, like it's your job.
Yeah.
Like you're traveling there to get a good result, which has financial implications on multiple fronts, sponsorships, deals here, there and everywhere. And on top of it, keep the family happy and healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
It's there's a lot to juggle, and I decided not to. Basically, I was like, okay, I've done 20 years on tour. I'm not as motivated as I was. Losing just shits me. I'm not winning that much. I'm like, I've got kids. I'm going to wrap it up. So that's why I got to kind of make that definitive call. I made the call at Margaret River, like you said, and then I was like, I want to pick my favourite event of all events, and that's Fiji. And, had the greatest time in my last event. I had one of the best heats I've had, and then, that was a wrap.
Because the final was against John, hey?
Yeah, it wasn't even a final. It was only round 3. Felt like a final because we both got like
high 18s or
high
something.
9s. Yeah, we had a really good heat. And he got me by 0.1 or something, real close. But it didn't feel like a loss to me. It just felt perfect. It was like almost like changing of the guard. He won his world titles from that point on, and he was, I was happy to pass the torch. But it was so fun because Cloudbreak was cooking and we both got to get really good waves. And even though I lost, it was just like the perfect send off.
Man, was Cloudbreak where this injury Cloudbreak as well?
Yeah,
oh,
Cloudbreak too.
Man, special space for you.
It is a special spot, and I mean, obviously it sucks getting injured, but I just can't wait to go back. It's just my favourite. It's just one of those waves. It's just got so many different moods and faces to it. It's like 2 foot to 20 foot. Just it's always different. Every single time you surf it, it's different, and it's always awesome. So yeah,
Man.
Love that place.
Dude, you said just then like very. I'm going to try like articulate this correctly because have you always been very like definitive in your decision making? Because you very clearly then decided, hey, fuck traveling with kids. I'm not getting the enjoyment. And you've reflected on that.
Yeah.
And then I'm also thinking about you qualified for tour and then said no, which I think was the first time ever. No one would ever do that these days.
Yeah.
And then went again, which was a very definitive, clear answer. Has your mindset always been like that? Sorry to kind of grill you, but you kind of threw me in there a bit.
I think I'm pretty guilty of being indecisive at times
really?
too. Oh, for sure. But yeah, with certain things like that, I guess, yeah, kind of made my decision and stuck to it.
Just like in the moment, you're like, that feels right. Let's do that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. They weren't. I didn't even question those few decisions. That was easy for some reason. It just felt right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes you just know, gut feeling. You're like, yep, that's the right thing to do.
Do you think that kind of comes from growing up in the ocean as well? Like, there's so much of you sit out the back of any break. Like if anyone's listening, like.
Got a bit of a spiritual connection.
Yeah, kind of. And you're like...
being in nature all the time.
This one's going to be good.
Yeah.
Or like, nah, good luck, see ya, and you're not even going to paddle for it.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, well, definitely time in the water, it gives you that kind of knowledge. And the more you tune into what's kind of happening out there, the better chance you are of syncing up with a good wave and whatnot. I guess just the more kind of comfortable you are in that environment, then you just alert to everything that's going on and it just comes second nature, I guess, after a while.
Man, dude, on tour, like, do you think something as like a very below average surfer sitting right here talking to like the opposite end of the spectrum, I always wonder about, I've got waves that I like and I kind of gel with and waves that I just can't figure out and just kind of quit.
Yeah.
On tour, like there's a lot of the same waves that are on tour all the time, but every now and then it mixes it up. When you hit a new location, what's the like learning curve? Is there any tricks that you're like, I need to sync up with this wave?
Oh,
like,
it's just time in the water for sure.
Is that it?
Like the guys that do best on tour really put their time in on that particular spot or all the particular spots we go to. So whether they go 2 weeks early or they even spend time after the event trying to work out that wave, even trying a whole bunch of boards there and just trying to dial everything in for that particular spot. So, a lot of guys go to extreme effort to dial in that knowledge of certain waves. So, and it reflects too. Like it's a big advantage the more time you do in the water at a certain spot. But like you said, then, a random event will pop up. Like, every time I think of a random event, I just think of the Rip Curl. This one year they went to Mexico and it was like the greatest thing that ever happened to the people on tour because we went down to a spot that's quite famous now, obviously. Rip Curl kind of blew it out, but it was called Barra. And it was just, I'd never been, I think it was 2005 or six maybe. Anyway, it was called a search event. Rip Curl had them different spots and the Mexico one was just the best thing that's ever happened. It was just like completely cooking perfect right-hand point break, sand, warm water, and just the best waves I've ever seen, ever. And it stayed like that for like 5 or 6 days. The whole event ran in just perfect surf. And some of the best waves I've ever had in my life. And it was in a singlet, like it was just perfect shape, start to finish. I think I ended up with the third and Andy Irons won that one. And that was just one of the most memorable events. And that was just a random one.
Man.
That place was sick.
Insane. And so would they throw those events in, search events randomly within the tour?
Yeah, they did a few.
They don't happen anymore. Like every now and then they flirt with new locations.
It's pretty set in stone now, I'd say. But Rip Curl did have that kind of search campaign where they wanted to do events in random places. I remember we went to Reunion Island too, surfed that left there called St. Lou. That was really fun.
That's a big bodyboarder wave, hey, as well? Or that's a slab of...
There's definitely bodyboard waves there. That one, not so much. It's like a long kind of wrapping left that grows and bends. A lot of sharks over there too.
Yeah.
But let me think. Yeah, Rip Curl have done a few random ones. Chile. Went to Chile once, and that was a really psycho wave. That's a bodyboarding wave.
Was
this wave. in a town called Eureka, and that was just this psycho wave that was like pipe, but on dry rock. Guys were just getting blasted up the reef when they would fall off at the end, like so psycho.
Really?
They had they had lifeguards, but instead of in the water, they were standing on the rocks with like all this like suit of armor on and flippers and life vests and all this,
Heaps of confidence for you guys in the water.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
thanks,
wow.
man.
So they're going to scrape us off the rocks, basically.
They're going to shovel in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that was a psycho wave, that one.
Man,
but
dude, with that sort of stuff, like I always think the logistics. This is my like kind of business brain jumping in. Like, oh, guys, we're going this location this year. I'm guessing you guys on tour you'd know the roster well before, because you can't go, we're going to Chile, and then fans and everyone gets all the comm.
Yeah.
How does that side work, man?
Well, I mean, we obviously get the schedule either at the end of the previous year or the start of the new season, and then you might see a new location in there. And then I guess... the ASP, which it was, or the WSL, who's ever running the event, they probably lean on the local organisation or association. For example, like Surfing WA, they run the Margaret River event basically, and the equivalent of Surfing WA in every place that's who they would lean on. Probably, we're doing a contest here. Can you help us dial it, set it up, get it all done? Yeah.
Because then accommodation-wise, is it up to you to find
It's up
your
to
way?
us, but that's the other thing I was going to say. Everyone kind of leans on their sponsors at the time, probably so Billabong for me was like they would dial the accommodation. They'd link us up with local Billabong surfers, and you kind of get
knowledge
looked
of the
after in that way.
wave as well, I guess, with locals.
With what?
Knowledge on the wave
Definitely.
as well.
Yeah. It'd be like
it's like a caddy.
Yeah, almost like a caddy, just someone to kind of point you in the right direction and show you the local ropes. Yeah. So that's kind of how it would work.
Man, changing kind of gears a little bit from like reminiscing on tour life, there's surfers around the world know Taj as a competitive surfer, but I feel like maybe 50-50 for your creative pursuits. Like growing up watching Sabotage, Montage, Fair Bits, like all your clips.
Yeah.
Do you see them as the same thing, or do you see them as very like different parts of your career, like your innovation in filmmaking versus competitive surfing? Like, how do you reflect and think about it?
Oh, to be honest, I just loved doing both so much that I just tried to fit it all in. I mean, these days it's kind of two different avenues, really. Guys do obviously compete and try and put out, clips and stuff as well. But the guys doing it best, I mean, creative-wise, are the guys that are dedicating their whole year to chasing waves. And, like you mentioned before, like a Nate Florence who's doing his YouTube series, and they're pretty entertaining, and he does it really well. He's one of the best surfers in the world, and he's chasing scary waves. That's what everyone wants to watch. I just loved filming as a Grom, or just my whole life. I just loved shooting and trying to get good footage, good waves, good airs. Just I was just into it. But I wanted to compete as well. I mean, it was kind of just in my blood. I started competing when I was 9 or something. So I was on that journey as well, but I just kind of wanted to do both. And I loved putting out video parts, whether it's a full movie or just an edit of some sort. Surf movies for me as a kid resonated so hard. I'll hear a song and just go, oh, yep, Jack McCoy's Green Iguana or something, they just really stick with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if kids get the same out of it these days, because they're just bombarded with so much stimulation everywhere. Like, there's just too much to absorb, really.
Yeah, and dude, even in the surf world, like you see, Nate Florence on kind of raw, like they're edited, but it's pretty raw. It's not a year finessing. It's like the swell hit.
Yeah.
We'll wait till the swell goes so we don't blow it up, blow the spot up. And then post. Like I'm sure that there's strategy there, because I imagine if Nate Florence is going to go to a place and he's filming, posting before he gets there, no one's going to like that. So I'm guessing you're filming, putting it out, and you're already filming the next spot.
Yeah.
But the effort, like, how long was a movie project? Like, any of your projects?
Oh, it depends how much effort you want to put in and how how much travel you want to do and what kind of waves you want to surf. You spend a year making a good movie probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so different these days. Obviously, there's so much content out there. You know, when I was watching movies that stuck with me, it was just, there's a new movie on VHS. You know, slide it into the VHS player, and you'd be like, oh my god, here we go, a new movie.
Glued
so
to
it was
it.
like you're glued to it because it's like something new, and there wasn't that many out there, so it just made them all that more special, I think.
Dude, I remember like your movies coming out, and then like Tensions movies, like Whitey's movies coming out.
Those things are iconic.
Dude, you'd go to a premiere, and especially like being West Aussie, you go to a premiere, and like sometimes they would have the DVD or video there to buy.
Yeah.
And like if you couldn't make it, you're in trouble. Mum wouldn't let you go. Then you like go to your mate's house who was there, and you like just watch that section over and over and over, and go, holy shit.
Exactly.
Whereas I feel like it's not to take away from like YouTube generation or of clip being put up, but there's a certain level and a different level of finesse as like a viewer of going, I'm almost voyeuristic in the sense of watching Nate Florence paddle out at pipe with a GoPro in his mouth is a vision I'm never going to get. And I'm going to watch that for 20 minutes of him duck diving.
It's pretty attractive for sure for someone that wouldn't know what it's like to experience that.
It's like,
it's amazing for sure. And GoPros are so handy for that.
Yeah, but that hits very different to watching you jump out of a helicopter.
Oh yeah,
you know,
right.
like
whoa,
okay, it's a very different thing. They're both fucking epic, and they both add to the sport and to the innovation. I feel that without the effort into filmmaking from kind of your generation and the generation before as well, that was kind of pushing it, we don't end up with like Nate now or Ben Gravy or any level of like, jump on YouTube and you've got like a kid you bumped on the track down there, and I saw his GoPro and then he's got 300 views. I'm like, what did he surf? I'm watching that too.
No, true.
So the expansion's pretty interesting.
Yeah, everyone's doing it. But yeah, like you said, it had to start somewhere. But it's all just good entertainment.
Dude, where did the I want to go back to the creativity, and like the helicopter scenes are super iconic, especially for like us coming through.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
A lot of the ideas came from my friend Sam McIntosh, who started Stab Magazine.
Yeah.
We've been like really good friends for so many years, and he's always he's got a brain on him. He's sharp, and he comes up with really creative ideas, and he throws them at me, and some are just so out wide. I'm just like, nah, I'm not fucking doing that. But others, I'm like, think about them, and I'm like, yeah, you're pretty good at this. So I should probably just, be confident in his ideas. And yeah, I ran with most of them, and yeah, the chopper shoot was the one we did down here was for my movie as well as like his first Stab issue. So we kind of he launched Stab with a cover shot of it was an air shot from Super Tubes from the chopper. Yeah. That was his first Stab hard copy kind of thing. So that's when he launched it, and we've done heaps of things together since, basically. But that was his idea. I can't take credit for that. Yeah, he wanted to do all that, and I loved that idea. I'm like, yes, let's do it. No one had really shot high performance surfing from a chopper, like maybe like a Laird Hamilton and the Jaws guys were doing it at Jaws, but no hi-fi stuff, no airs, nothing in smaller waves. So I was all for it, and it was so much fun.
How did the conversation with the pilot go?
Oh man, the pilot was the biggest legend. He was an ex-Vietnam pilot. I even remember his name. His name was Joe Driver.
What a name.
he was a cowboy. Yeah, he was just like, he was so excited. It's like he wanted to show off how gnarly he could get in a chopper, and he scared the shit out of us. He was just like, the prongs on the chopper were just like hitting the water at points. Like he was just a cowboy. Yeah, but it was perfect. Once he learned how to kind of track the swells, that's the one thing that's always been, I've done a few chopper shoots, and that's one thing you really need to, for the chopper pilot to understand, is you kind of got to move with the swells.
Similar to tow, hey?
To what?
To like tow surfing.
Oh yeah, for sure, exactly. Just got to track the swells in. But yeah, that guy was insane. He was like the best guy for the job. I can't believe we actually found him. And yeah, we'd shoot. My friend and obviously biggest legend in WA, Jake Patterson. He he towed me in for like 2 days straight from dawn till dusk. Just towed me and towed me and towed me. Can't thank him enough. He got a couple waves himself at the end of the day when I was absolutely cactus. I'm like, I got to whip you into a couple, and he tried a couple of wild airs as well, and with the chopper above him. But yeah, he was amazing during that shoot. And then we had cameramen everywhere. We had cameramen on the beach, in the water, on the ski, and obviously 3 cameramen in the chopper. I think 1 stills and 2 film. I think.
Yeah. Well, it's a sort of like production that you're not gonna go, oh, let's just wing it with 1.
Yeah, true.
You're gonna want to go.
You wouldn't want the pressure of that, would you? Either being the photographer.
No, imagine that. Like, but you go on the effort. We've got everything, and I'm guessing some sort of waiting period. Going, oh, the swell looks good now. And
yeah, that was a tricky one. But
did everyone like on the beach go, Taj is filming? I'm guessing people would want to surf at the same time.
Yeah, well, that was the thing.
It's so wild. I got to watch him.
Yeah, no, there was definitely windows back then where you could get like Super Tubes or somewhere like that, pretty uncrowded. Because I was looking for a bit of onshore, to be honest. Like I wanted some ramps and a bit of wind. And normally no one surfs supers when it's like that. And another advantage of using the jet ski to tow into supers, you can tow it when it's low tide.
Yeah.
Whereas surfing at low tide kind of sucks. It gets a bit steppy and you can't quite take off where you want to. So I was just aiming to get those 2 elements involved, a little bit of onshore, a little bit of low tide, there'll be no one out. But yeah, once we the day ended up being quite good. I think we did 2 days of it, but one of the days was clean and kind of cooking. And once we kind of once we were established there, no one was going to go near it. It would have looked pretty intimidating because it was choppers, and there was 44-gallon drums of petty on the beach. We had to like fuel up and cameras everywhere, and it was a bit of a scene. But yeah, it's crazy to think we went to that much effort when now you can just go with a drone. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Man,
big price difference too.
Oh, I bet. What about, was there downforce from the chopper blades trying to punt?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I got blown off heaps. It was so powerful. A couple of times I'd do a turn, and you can see it in the footage. I'd be just like this because there was just so much downdraft. And he just got so close sometimes, and I'd never been that close to a helicopter. So I'm like, fuck, are those blades going to get me? Because he was like doing big banking turns too, and I'm just like straight out of Nam. And I was like, well, those blades are like so close to the water.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, no, I was keen, but then I was like, this is pretty scary too.
Yeah, dude.
But then I
go up and zoom in on your camera, please.
Just shoot a bit wider.
Oh man, crazy. Talking about like aerial surfing, dude, you're like credited to be innovator of air surfing and approaching waves in a new way. Who inspired you before you? Because I'm guessing growing up surfing, you would have been like, I want to do cutty, top turn, float up. Like there's a certain point where you put your own mark on the sport. Who was your biggest inspirations?
Oh, I loved watching every surf movie, basically. Like I told you, I used to get so excited over surf movies. I would watch them and then just run out the door. But I don't know, early inspirations of kind of the style I liked. I really liked Shane Dorian and Kelly Slater. And like Shane Powell. And I just liked guys that I liked getting my fins out. I was really just all about throwing the tail around and getting my fins above the lip. And I loved the way those guys did it, and I just wanted to do that. And then Kelly, when he brought out his movie, Kelly Slater in black and white back in the day, that one just sent me into a complete spin. I just, when he did like the first reverse where it's such a mellow, basic little turn, but no one was doing it, and he did it in his film, and I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. He just hits the white water, goes backwards, and spins around. I was like, oh my god! It wasn't a 360 like this. It was, so called since then, the reverse, and I just went out straight away and just started trying him, just doggy paddling around in the white water, trying to get my tail around, and I remember the moment I did one, and it was just like the most incredible feeling, just like any kind of. Well, in any sport or anything, you practice it and try it, and then when you achieve it, it's just like, get fucked. That felt incredible. And surfing's especially hard because well, you're in the ocean and you don't get the opportunity every time. You know, it's rare to get the opportunity for the right section or the right ramp. So yeah, when you do something like that, it's a pretty good feeling. And so yeah, I loved watching that. And then I've always been a fan of Shane Dorian's. I loved his style, and I loved the big tail fin throws that he used to do. So that kind of shaped my surfing. That was one thing I always wanted to do. I guess it was just my strength. It was just being, just kind of like tail slidey and doing airs and trying to be innovative with that style of surfing. That was definitely my strength.
Did you skate as well?
Not really. I did skate, but not like technical skating. I actually used to do the funniest thing. We lived on this house on a bit of property where there was a concrete veranda around the whole house, and I used to skate around it constantly and just piss my parents off so loud. And then I don't know what inspired it, but I had this like a rope from the veranda over the concrete, a rope that was tied up to like a wooden beam and just a handle on it. And I put foot straps on my skateboard.
Sick.
And I used to just like go around in circles, and there was a big drop off from the concrete balcony, and I used to just go off the side and just do all these like air reverses and like twisty airs, like constantly, just off the side of the house, and then back the other side, and then just going back and forth.
Do like a half pipe without the half pipe.
Pretty much exactly that, but strapped in and just doing every angle, every like kind of little boned out thing, and every direction spinning. And it was the funnest thing ever. And my parents were like, oh no, what have we started? Because like if that rope had broken, I would have got so fucked up, because it was just on the edge of this concrete and then a big drop off. But luckily it never broke. It never broke. The only things that broke were the foot straps off the skateboard. But yeah, I just used to love doing that. Like, it was the funnest thing, and it definitely, kind of inspired me to do that surfing.
Well, just getting that kind of muscle memory as well of
spinning as well.
Spinning and being inverted, or your back foot being above your front foot, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Dude, I hope there's kids listening to this that are like tying ropes off their
I know.
carports.
I'd love to do it again. It was so fun.
Oh man, mental. Talking about kind of Grom stuff, in what year was I wrote it down here? In 2005, started Small Fries.
2005 was it? Yeah. Well, it's been 20. It's 20 years this next one. So yeah, 20 years of it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, 2005.
What was the start of Small Fries?
Small Fries was just, I just wanted to start a kids comp, and the idea kind of came between my friend Sam McIntosh again, as well as Billabong, and I just love the idea of doing something for the kids. I remember how bloody cool it was to surf in a singlet for the first time. You know, if you surf in a couple contests and people show interest and you might get sponsored, you get to put a sticker on your surfboard. That's probably the ultimatum as a Grom.
Yeah.
Getting stickers on your board was like the sickest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I remember all those feelings so vividly, that I was just like, being a Grom is sick. Like, and competing, it's so fun. So we started that event with that in mind, just let's do a kids comp. And it was just all focused around having fun. We didn't want it to be too competitive. We want everyone just to have a good time. And of course, there's a winner at the end, but we didn't really focus on being too aggressively competitive. It's definitely progressed since then, and created so many rivalries, and so many good surfers have come through the Small Fries. That 20 years of it, we've had so many guys that have been through the world tour, and whether they've done that or free surfing career, we've had a lot of talent through there. But no, it's just something that I'm proud of. It's just so fun. I love seeing the kids, just how much fun they're having. And the parents love it too. It's a big weekend for everyone. The parents are exhausted by the end, but they're very grateful.
Yeah.
And it's just sick. I just love seeing the Groms go at it, and I have a lot of fun watching myself. I commentate a lot of the heats, and Surfing WA runs it, and they do such a good job. And it's just turned into a really kind of prestigious junior event.
Dude,
And
it has, and it's shaped. Like, I remember every year my Instagram or whatever is just flooded with the ping pong comp.
Oh, the ping pong, yeah. That's always fun. We've always thought of things we can do that make it fun for the kids, and ping pong's one of them. We try and keep everyone entertained.
It's so sick. It seems like a really inclusive, and I wanted to double check before, but Jack Robbo being one of the kind of early Groms coming through.
Definitely. He's taken it out. He's been in it heaps of times.
And now, Dad himself on the hunt for a
time flies. That's crazy.
Absolutely wild. But I think it's really nice to especially where, we've both grown up. Where they always say Perth is the most isolated city in the world.
I remember that stat. That's bizarre.
And we're 3 hours south?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. I remember growing up just thinking how many things were kind of stacked up against you.
Yeah.
Like you're so far away and there's all this. And obviously the internet's brought it closer. And then we spoke about kind of YouTube and exposure and putting things out there. But things like Taj's Small Fries and, seeing clips of you and the whole crew around at your local wave and the WSL, rolling into town once a year, kind of connects those dots a lot.
Yeah, it's no secret anymore.
No,
it doesn't feel very isolated anymore.
No.
Everyone's, realised what a special place it is. The waves are insane and it's a beautiful stretch of coast and feels like everyone's here now.
Yeah.
It's quite busy.
It is pretty busy. I heard, I'm going to ask you, I'm going off the cuff.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor, like when you surf, do you surf like half an hour at a time? Is that like the gnarliest WA rumor ever?
No, that's so accurate.
Is it?
I surf for about 30 minutes, It's like I'm programmed to do it from competing for so long.
Really?
Unless it's cooking. I'll surf for hours, but my daily surfs are normally just 30 minutes.
In, out, make it happen.
Yeah, just get it done. Like, only if it's shitty, kind of. Like, I'm doing it as an activity. I just, want to catch a couple waves and just freshen up. 30 minutes.
Classic.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's so weird.
Dude, that's so funny. I've heard it so many times. Like, oh yeah, Taj when he surfs like 30 minutes. And growing up, I'm like, I was driving down this morning, I'm gonna have to ask him because I reckon
that's funny.
I thought it was folklore.
It's more so later in my career, I'd say. Like it's just I dead set feel like it's a programming after being in so many heats. It's like 30 minutes is a good amount. I'm just adjusted to it, used to it. 30 minutes,
So what does you're talking about like program? What does post retirement? Do you have like a regimen? Do you like priorities like surf, yoga? What do you do to look after yourself? Obviously not being injured.
Yeah. Well, at the moment I'm about to get on the rehab train, and I actually am not too. It's not too daunting for me, this one. I feel kind of motivated. I actually like having a goal like this. The surgeon's like, oh, it's going to be 6 months. And I'm just like, fuck that. It's going to be 3 or 4. I'm like, I'm going to smash through this thing. But I love having that challenge of just doing everything perfect and trying to accelerate my healing. But in general, I just, I surf every day. I have to go in the ocean regardless. Like the ocean's just a must for me. I need it. Like whether it's a swim or a surf, I got to go and jump in the brine just to get it done. And I've come out feeling so much better. But other than that, just a lot of dad stuff. And I just love kind of being settled and established after like living such a hectic life. And I thought the transition was going to be quite hard because, you're used to packing your bag and going somewhere every 2 weeks. It's kind of like, it's programmed into you as well. And I was like, oh, how am I going to sit still? I'm going to be, twiddling my thumbs when I'm retired. But it's just been the exact opposite. It's just been, I'm at such peace with just being, like settled. I love it. And routine. I love having routine. I actually don't want to go anywhere. I still do surf trips, like for myself. If I see good waves coming, like Fiji or something, I like to sneak off and try and get waves because I'm still so surf hungry. Like I want to score waves. But I really, really enjoy just, being settled and just doing family stuff. But I still try and stretch and train and look after myself as well as I can. Try not to drink much and try to eat really good food just so I'm kind of, fit and healthy and ready to surf at all times.
Do you follow nutrition-wise? Is there any like no-nos for you? Like are you vegan, veggie, eat meat?
No, I kind of do everything, but in moderation.
Which is the best.
Even like, I kind of eat everything, but just try not to eat excess. Well, sugar and dairy are probably two I try and avoid the most. Yeah. But I still eat them. Yeah. But just not much. I love chocolate, like a bit of chocolate before I go to bed. Like that was a hard one to shake.
Yeah. I'm a fiend for it as well.
Yeah, it's tough. And cheese is like a really hard one to shake, I think, as well. Cheese is is so fucking good.
Yeah.
But I don't eat much cheese.
Yeah.
I just doesn't feel right for me. So I just try and avoid the obvious naughty ones, and then just everything in moderation.
And
That's my key.
'cause
80-20. 80-20 is the rule I learned.
Yeah.
80% good.
And have you learned that because you've just reflected of like, I eat that, I feel shit, don't eat that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. As well as my parents are quite healthy. They eat really well, and they've kind of ingrained it into me. But yeah, I definitely notice feeling shit if I eat shit food. Like, yeah. It's
Pretty simple,
basic.
hey?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
simple.
And I mean, being a high performance athlete for so long, like you would have a heightened sensitivity to that as well. I'd imagine I went out, had too many beers, surf like shit the next day.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. That is
Like pretty
it's
easy
simple.
dots to connect, like, looking from afar, but
Yeah.
maybe at the time, not so much.
Yeah.
How do you reflect now, like your time on tour? I know I'm going back, guys, but I'd have to go there.
Let's go there.
Tour these days versus tour when you're on tour, no socials.
Yeah.
Well, the end would have been early socials, just?
You tell me. When
I
did
don't know.
Instagram start? Don't even know.
No idea, man. No idea, but probably not.
Oh, yeah. No, majority of my career, none of that. Definitely. I started in 98 or something, 99.
Yeah. So,
98.
nah. So,
yeah, big difference.
yeah, huge time. Do you think, obviously you can't go back and rewrite time or anything like that, but do you see the guys on tour today and go, oh, that's so much easier. I can keep connected with family and friends while I'm away. Like, is there any feelings like that? Or
No, not at all. I cringe at most of the stuff I see online. It's just everyone seems to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. A lot of the core surfers from back in my day would be rolling in their graves, looking at how the way surfers behave now. It's kind of embarrassing.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
but so it is what it is. People are just trying to build their profile and cash in with sponsors, and that's the way to approach it. But it's just like, fuck, so hard to watch some of it. It's just like, I cannot believe they're doing that and posting it.
Yeah.
But that's more of, I guess, an old school mentality. It seems to be normal now. But yeah, Instagram's changed a lot, and I don't think for any good.
No, I think I would agree.
I don't see many positives out of it.
No, man, and it's kind of created kind of clickbaity sort of stuff as well. Like things will pop up on all of our feeds of kind of like something kind of naff, but it's got your attention, and it's that virality or.
I know. And what about our attention spans though? I find mine being so short. It's just like, I actually get angry flicking through Instagram. It's just like,
me too.
It just, after a while, you're just like, fuck this. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
Often I'm on the couch and I'll be scrolling, like I'm looking at my big screen, something watching on a big screen, looking at my little screen, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like, you're not
it's
doing
crazy.
either of these things. I'll throw my phone away, and then before I know it, I've like got it back. I'm like,
how is the instinct of just grabbing it and just clicking on Instagram?
Yeah.
I cannot believe how addictive it is. It's insane. And
that kind of feeds the machine. I feel the business of not just surfing, but any kind of sport or business or brand is built on attention. And our attention used to be line up for the latest issue of Tracks or Surfing Life or Stab to see the shoot. And sometimes it was sealed and you'd get a DVD or a sticker pack in it. And
how good was that?
It was the best thing ever. And now it's like, oh, every Monday there's another episode of whoever's vlog coming out, and it's something kind of corny or whatever. But I think the motivators have changed, and like the existence of, and I know there's guys out there filming for movies and for parts now, which is sick.
Yeah.
But you can tell the person who's putting the episode out every week is getting different income stream.
Yeah.
And it's far more profitable to put something out every week that's got the attention of millions of people versus a creative pursuit of a crazy part or a crazy movie that takes a couple years.
Yeah.
And it's hard as someone who grew up watching you and the generation before you create something, and we'd all lose our minds and then go try do it poorly for our whole lives. But those motivations are really different. Like I'm thinking about like Dion Agus. I'm thinking about like Bad Manners, and like they're putting out things that are not every day, but you go, Shit, that's pretty mental.
Yeah, for sure. Those guys work hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it just comes with the territory. Instagram's all about, the quick fix and people putting out stuff regularly.
Do you think you would have been a YouTuber if you were like now? Do you reckon you would have?
I really hope not.
But like in your own way, because it's like essentially from where I'm watching as like a fan, you'd work hard to create a clip to put it out into the world.
Yeah.
To get that feedback loop.
Yeah.
And if you were, right now 20.
I guess, for sure. You'd have to if you wanted a career in surfing. So
you kind of don't have a choice.
But yeah, I guess it's not too dissimilar to what I was trying to achieve. I like setting Groms off with a good surf section because I felt that when I watched my heroes or anyone surf good in a surf video back in my Gromhood days, I just love that feeling. So I wanted to, try and replicate that. If I can make a section that psychs up a Grom to go and rip or do something, then that's my goal. So it's not too dissimilar to vlogging and stuff. But
do you have a movie? You mentioned Kelly's Black and White. And you mentioned Green Iguana.
Oh yeah, I mean,
do you have a like pinnacle or like one that you just go, that is?
Not really, but like all those early ones for me, like all Jack McCoy's movies, they kind of resonate the most because that was my first memories of like really being psyched on surfing, seeing amazing surfers in amazing ways with very well put together movies. And then Taylor Steele started his movies, and that really, really got me. I was just like, this is incredible. These guys are ripping, lot kind of like grungier music, and I loved it. Just could not wait for Taylor Steele's next Momentum or whatever it was. So those ones definitely stuck with me.
There's the Snapped ones coming out now that they get me pumped, I think,
those got that Chucky, he's a friend of mine. He's unreal. He made his Snapped movie years ago, and I remember being a part of it. And then he had a big break from any filming or anything, and then decided to fire it up again. And he's got some guys backing him. Like he's got a bunch of surfers that really want to be involved because he puts together a good movie. So yeah, they're fun to watch. I think Snap 5's the next one, maybe.
Yeah. And it's sick that it's not coming out. Like, I'm sure there's little things coming out on individual pages, but every time I watch one of those, I'm like, I haven't seen any of this.
Oh yeah, true. No, that's always good.
That's the cool thing.
It's hard to hang on to footage without it being, blasted on Instagram.
Yeah,
sure.
Big time. I saw Instagram war between, I'm not going to name surfers' names, but there was this like little war happening about you go on YouTube and it's like, Bali Surf Bible or like name the spot, and it's dudes rocking up with cameras just filming the whole session of like a pumping swell.
Oh.
And I saw this whole thing blow up because there was guys there filming for their part, trying to put a part or a clip together.
And people poaching footage.
And they've just posted the whole session with that. And I was reading the comments going, oh, this is a whole new world that no one had to deal with before. Before it was like, I saw so-and-so do that because I was surfing as well. And now it's on a movie where it's a completely different landscape.
Yeah, true. No, that happens.
Imagine someone uploading helicopter shoot on their YouTube channel the day you did it.
All that money and effort.
Like, oh,
and someone just swoops it.
Man.
Yeah, there's a few different variables, I guess, with getting it out there these days.
So all of that kind of boils down to everybody's trying to make a career. They're trying to do what they love. Being a pro surfer would be many guys and girls' dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's achieved that, is there any kind of tips or how would you approach it for someone young coming through going, what would you do? Is there like a few things that you would go, mate, just...
I wouldn't recommend it to start with. I mean, that doesn't sound very encouraging, but it's pretty tough. And the industry's kind of cooked too. It's not like it used to be. Even though there are more mediums like we're talking about for blasting your footage on, it just seems like the industry is not as strong as it used to be. But I wouldn't go into surfing thinking, I want to be a pro or I want to make a living out of it. I kind of feel like it happens naturally if you just do it because you absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got to love it so much that then hopefully someone else loves it or loves watching you maybe, and then it falls into place. I mean, I don't know. It's, to me, it seems crazy when people like just dedicate their, like I see a lot of parents, go really hard with their kids. It's kind of that same old story where parents just are obsessed with their kids becoming professional surfers. And it's just like, oh man, it's kind of sad to see sometimes, because you want the Groms to have fun and not be just like flogged. Crack the whip on every surf, get back out there until you're doing air reverse. Yeah, and that breaks my heart seeing kids like brought up like that, because surfing's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be that serious. I mean, who knows, that kind of behavior, it might create a really good competitive surfer and they might make the world tour, but in general, it's pretty fucking slim chances. And so many parents do it. Whereas, it's just not my style of parenting. I would just like encourage having a good time, because when you're having a good time, I feel like everything just falls into place.
I was kind of thinking on that the more somebody forces something, so a parent forcing a child to do something, the less enjoyment there is in that. And therefore the outcome's worse. Like the harder I try to do something, the worse I am at it.
Yeah, right.
So it's that authenticity of like, go have fun. And then along the way, what are those little interventions that take you from like here to the next stage to the next stage? It's really tricky. Are your kids getting in the water?
They flap around and catch a wave here and there. I'll push them into one or something, but yeah, definitely, I don't care if they surf or not. I just want them to enjoy the beach, or just being outdoors. So I don't push them into surfing, but yeah, maybe at their own pace they'll take it on one day. But yeah, I just want them to have fun in the water. It's a tricky one. Free surfing seems like a pretty accessible avenue these days. If there's something unique about you or your personality or what you're posting, it can get some traction. There's lots of things out there that are entertaining these days, whether they're comedy or great surfing or unique locations or different surfboards. I don't know, there's so many different things that you can kind of grab a hold of and run with if you're going down that avenue. Whereas competitive surfing, you're not making money unless you're at the top, really, and it's really hard to get there.
And it feels like getting harder.
Yeah, no shit.
Like
I mean, the top 30 in the world, that's really hard to make.
Yeah, and then it all leads into the last event.
What's that?
And then it leads into the last event.
Yeah,
and even if you're in the top 5, it's, see it lowers.
Yeah, it's pretty cutthroat and pretty hard to break into that crew. And so many people are trying it. Yeah, it seems like it's a bit of a long shot, I'd say, but, obviously it's worth going for if you've got the skills and the motivation. But I think, free surfing avenue is definitely more achievable.
Yeah. I would, as a spectator, I fully agree with that. And like the surfers, as someone who wants to sit in their car, watch a YouTube clip, and then paddle out and get pumped.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to go like, show me the last heat from pipe.
Yeah.
I'm typing in Craig Ando. I want to look at Creed. I want to look at, Dion Agus, who I know is a friend of yours. Like I remember one of his sections from like, I think it was a Surfing Life magazine. And I think the track was like a TV on the radio.
Oh yeah, true.
And it was like real, and like that clip.
Yeah.
And it was like Hawaii season. It was dark and stormy. Like there's a few clips that you go back to. It's always free surfing. It's never, I can't wait to watch those two surfers battle it out in that heat to get pumped.
Yeah.
So the inspiration then, commercially, I need to get that tail pad, or I need to get that board, or they just switched it up and they're riding a 5.7 instead of 6.0. I want to go small. And now those other dudes are riding 6.3s. Oh, I've got to go long and skinny again.
How was that?
Kind of drives the commercials as well in a different way.
Yeah.
Man, I just noticed how long have you had a globe sticker on your board?
Oh, yeah, good 20 years, 25 years maybe.
I realised this morning that it's such an iconic sticker, and there's one behind you on one of your old boards.
Yeah, true. Well, originally globe was just, shoes, skate shoes mainly, and friends with the Hill brothers that started the company. They're mad skaters themselves from Melbourne, and they started it. And I remember they had a few few surfers on board early days. It was like there was a Tony Ray, a Pancho Sullivan, and then they got Oki. And then I was like, wow, this company's sick. And then I got offered to be on the team, and I think I was 17 or 18. And yeah, I've been with them since.
Dude,
Yeah.
wow. Well, I realized, do you know the brand Supreme?
Yeah. Similar logo.
No shit, hey?
Yeah.
And today I walked in here and I was like, oh, yeah, holy shit. The red tab, like the Levi's red tab,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
pretty
true.
iconic. And then the globe, like seeing that sticker, like talking about professional surfing, crossing over into the business of surfing and then free surfing.
Yeah.
And then Supreme being a skate brand out of New York, who's now a lot bigger than a skate brand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure how much you know about the brand, but I've had some shocking experiences in their stores.
Oh, really? No, I don't know much.
But it's the whole point.
Oh, really?
It's like treat them mean, keep them
Oh, is
keen
it that
kind of thing.
style?
Yeah, but
right.
their logo is the same. It's so iconic.
Mm.
And there's so many like fin waft, reverses, sticker, all these things kind of add up. And it's like this little package where it's really tricky. I imagine seeing Grums coming through Small Fries, trying to navigate where they go and the mental well-being. And I mean, what we do here at Mode, we look after high performance athletes, we look after mums and dads, we looked after, hacks like myself. It's really interesting to figure out how someone is, one, inspired.
Yep.
Two, they feel connected to what they're doing and the community that they're in. And three, get some sort of well-being or enjoyment out of it.
Yep.
And aligning those things is really interesting.
Yeah, okay.
At Mode, what we do being so heavily invested into well-being and approaching things in a new way, and nature being a part of it.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of lessons that the ocean's taught you? Like you mentioned that you go to the ocean every day. How come?
Oh, man, I just think everyone that goes in the ocean would know and feel the same. I just think it's such a healing, medicinal place. I mean, just salt water, just getting a swim or a surf in, it just makes you feel amazing. Any activity in the ocean, you just come out feeling better. You're never worse off after you have a dunk.
No.
And it's so beneficial. Like, everyone goes through shit. Everyone has down days and hard times, and yeah, mental health wise, I just think it's the absolute best thing you can do. Yeah, I just love it. If I'm having a rough time, I'm just straight to the ocean every time, and yeah, it just helps heaps. But it can be any kind of activity, I think, to get you clarity and kind of bring you back into your body and not into your head so much as just physically exerting yourself or doing something out in nature, something that you love. But yeah, for me, it's definitely the ocean. I think the salt water's got a huge factor in that part. But yeah, being active is the key, I think. Yeah, just doing anything out in nature that you love. That's it's going to help you big time. Movement,
man.
100%.
Yeah. Don't move. Yeah, move it or you lose it.
Move it or you lose it. 100%. You got to keep moving.
Man, big time.
Yeah.
Is there how's fatherhood?
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty wild. It just blows me away how quick it happens. Like, just obviously time's flying, and all parents say when you got kids, you won't believe how quick they grow up. And I find myself saying all that same shit, like, wow, you grew up so quick, to other, and I'm just like, wow, that's such an old dad thing to say. Oh, I remember you when you were tiny, only this big. I find myself saying shit like that because it's true. It just goes like that. Yeah. And I got two girls that are 4 and 8, and it's gone so quick. Even though it felt like I've been a dad a long time now, it still feels really quick. And also the other thing I noticed is I just didn't think they would be so grown up at such a young age. I guess it's just they're exposed to so much shit now and just like so much stimulation. And my 8-year-old's just like, she acts like a 16-year-old. And it's just like, what? You're 8. How can you be acting like this already? I just didn't think they would progress to that kind of mentality so quick. But yeah, she's been pretty switched on from like real young. I remember even when she was either 3 or 4, so young, and we went to the local shop, that Caves Park store up there, and there's a bunch of like lollies and chocolate right at the front, and I remember she grabbed two of these lollies and said, "Dad, can I get 2 of these?" And I was like, "No way." And she goes, okay, I'll just get one. And I was like, what the hell? That's the most incredible negotiating skills shown by a 4-year-old. I was just tripping on that. Pretty crafty.
Far out.
But yeah, they just grow up so quick, mate. But yeah, I love it. I love it. I love doing it. I love being there all the time too. Like, I'm so grateful that I get to hang with them a lot because I see a lot of friends of mine who are parents who might have to do FIFO or be away for periods of time, and it's rough. Like, so much happens in 2 weeks when you've got a young one, let alone a couple of months if someone's working a big job away. It's rough, and I feel sorry for people that have to go through that because, like, you really want to be there for that stuff. There's so much cool stuff that happens, with young kids. But they are a handful too. There's always two sides of the coin. It's hard work. Like
they're both at school now.
The 8-year-old's at school. The young one's like at a playgroup. She'll be at school next year, which is so helpful. Like you get you get some day to get some stuff done, and then you appreciate them more once you've had a few hours apart. You can't wait to see them. But when they're with you all the time, they send you up the wall, 100%. They just fight and just rip the house to pieces. They're screaming and yelling. It's like, oh my God, give me a break. So yeah, any bit of relief, whether it's like palm them off to the grandparents or a babysitter or something, a couple hours, it's just like, I've had a bit of peace. Oh. Now I'm ready for them again. Like you miss them. I miss them after an hour.
Yeah. And could you guys travel a fair bit, hey?
With kids? Yeah, I've done a little bit. Our oldest one, she's been like to the Maldives 4 times, been in Bali and Hawaii. She's done a couple good ones. The young one hasn't been anywhere. She was born in 2020, so the world was a bit hard. It was a bit harder to travel.
Yeah.
So she hasn't been many places at all. She hasn't been overseas. Oh, sorry, she's been to Maldives once. But yeah, definitely want to keep moving. Go to some good places.
Sick.
Yeah.
Epic, man. Well, dude, thanks a bloody million for hanging out.
Pleasure.
Been kind of little while kind of coming. Been you and Dr. Maddie hanging out a bit.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Like, we're really stoked to kind of have you in. And
it's good to hear. Good to work with you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I like what you're doing here.
Thanks, dude. It's really cool to be able to have conversations like this, which is kind of counterintuitive because it's nothing to do with what we do at Mode. But the cool thing is that for so long, and I think I'm probably the younger of the generation coming through, you wouldn't think about health or mental health or talk about tough times or jumping in the ocean because it's such a kind of free medicine. And we've all had so many friends all around the world that struggle with things. I know. And just having conversations, and I guess both of us sitting here and just going, things get tough and I do this.
Isn't it crazy how we never would think about it?
No.
Or talk about it as kids?
At all.
Never would it even come up if someone's like kind of struggling, or if you were struggling, you didn't, well, maybe if you didn't know what to do, or like you didn't know the tools or the remedy for maybe clearing your head, or I don't know, it's weird. There's so much more attention on it now, but for good reason. Like it's a big part of everyone's life. No one's life's perfect. Everyone goes through ups and downs. So it's incredible it's taken us this long to kind of work out how to manage those things, and be comfortable to talk about them.
Totally. And I think it's almost our responsibility. For me personally, I'm intentionally naive. Yeah. Like my whole job here at Mode is like talk to our patients, look at the world and society and figure out, man, that group is struggling and that really sucks. And why is it? Mm-hmm. And I think it's our responsibility as people who talk to a lot of people, and yourself who lots of people look up to kind of just be honest and be like, hey man, talk to somebody. Like it doesn't make you weaker. It's got nothing to do with that. There's
places to speak out now.
Big time. And the outcome is huge. The outcome is, oh sweet, I'm not alone. I'm not on a silo. I'm not in a boat by myself. Like,
and it's always going to be better for speaking out too.
Big time. So, dude.
It's good.
Thanks for jumping on.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Mate, we have any time. Let's do it again.
Yeah, easy.
So, sick, man.
I was only just getting started.
Oh, we can keep going.
Now I've run out of stuff now.
All right, man.
Brain's frazzled.
Thanks a million.
Cheers, Jordy.
Thanks, man.
All right.
You want to drag it, and just keep going.
Nah, all good.